Hello and welcome to a new video interview opportunity at Shogunet Gaming News. The Casino Esport Conference has already announced its 7th edition next year in Las Vegas, running from February 27th to March 1. And there is a novelty this time because they will be offering for the first time classes about esports and video gaming in an extra day. So we'll have first-hand details today with its co-founders and executive producers. Ari Fox first. Welcome, Ari. Thanks for joining us at Shogunet. And well, the idea is to have maybe an introduction of this extra day added for next edition.
Well, thank you for having us. Yeah, it's a very big, it's an exciting news for us because our aim, most of all, is to educate, because we feel that's the only way you can move the, what we feel, what we're very passionate about, which is the view of, Ben and I have come up with a word, we call it techtainment, which I think that the casino industry has a very great and amazing opportunity to move into that place of we call techtainment. And not just that, it also has multiple ways that they can make money through technology.
Yeah, well, we have had recently a discussion about how some people just go to events, and you already said in our previous conversation that maybe there are some basic concepts that, including the metaverse, the blockchain, that maybe these people from the casino industry they don't know the basics or what they mean in events like Ice London, for instance, which happened recently. So maybe can we expect that these introductory concepts will be taking a center stage, and maybe they will help executives understand how exactly they could be integrated in their own business?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think Ben and I learned many years ago was that the casinos really like to keep everything in-house, and they like to do things themselves. Or if they see a really good idea, they'll copy that idea and then put that into play for their consumers and their customers. So instead of actually trying to design or them going to consultants or something, they bring their executives to our event and our day of education, and let them learn for themselves from the people that they have to, build that stuff from, or get that stuff built, so that they can do it in-house. Get someone who's going to learn and educate about the metaverse, about cryptocurrency, about video gaming culture, and there's a lot to know, and that's why we decided that we would add this day of education and workshops. Ben and I have been studying and researching a lot of the technology that we know of that exists today that is not being offered in the casino in any way, shape, or form, which is why at the moment casinos are excited and their numbers are up. Although I did look at Caesar's stock price, it was down yesterday, and MGM's stock price was down yesterday. But overall, when you get reports that come out and say, oh, well, March of 2022 was the greatest month in profits in Vegas or in Atlantic City, and they're back to pre-pandemic level money, all of this good news and excitement and hype doesn't push the casino industry to say, we don't have to worry about tomorrow, because right now we're doing very well. Well, what we try to say at the CEC is you always have to think about tomorrow, because if you never think about tomorrow and tomorrow comes and you're not prepared, well, you're going to face a real problem. And that happened. I mean, you could just look at COVID and what happened, what the casinos had to deal with, not just in Las Vegas, but in Macau and all over the world, that they had to shut down, and they were hurting. They were hurting. What did they do while they hurt? Well, they laid everybody off. Everybody's fired. Goodbye. See you. So that brings that stabilizes their numbers. that makes their stockbrokers feel better, that they're still going to be around after the pandemic. And, and then they come back stronger after the pandemic because they just basically went into, saving mode. I'm going to save all our money, hoard the money so that, when times get better, we'll be able to open up, hire people and bring them all back. And that's what happened. So nobody talks about what happened, obviously, during the pandemic and how they had to struggle. They only talk about last month's revenues or yesterday's revenues and today's revenues. They don't talk about what's going to be in future revenues. But if you asked any casino member or any stockholder that holds this stock, and you ask them what is it going to look like in 2 or 3 years, or even a year, or even a month or 2 months down the road, it's all roses, and unicorns. And we're saying, you know what? There's a possibility that it may not be. So if you have a casino in a metaverse, then you have a lot more people that are interested in going to your casino that's online. It changes the whole conversation in adopting iGaming even more, which Nevada still hasn't adopted iGaming. They don't have online gaming, but states like New Jersey and other states have it or are considering putting it into play. But if you're going to put it into play for the future. Don't put in something that's, that's a used vehicle or a used, a used product that's not relevant to the generation that you want to attract for tomorrow. So I think that's why we are putting in these workshops, because we're trying to prepare the industry to be ready and understand that this is where you need to go for the future. And, obviously NFTs recently in the marketplace have taken a downturn. There was a big crash in crypto recently, but it's not going anywhere. It's still going to be around. Esports it's got its hits. It's been knocked down. There's been multiple companies that have gone out of business or folded or never made any money. Still to this day, some haven't made any money, but it's not going anywhere. As long as the people want video gaming, as long as the people want metaverse, as long as the people are willing to pay in crypto or willing to invest in crypto, that is not going anywhere. And the casinos have an opportunity, particularly in the crypto space, because they're already doing it. And you're probably wondering, oh, what casinos already, making crypto or building or mining crypto? Well, the truth of the matter is, when you go into a casino and you get a poker chip, that's like a cryptocurrency, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It belongs to the casino, and you could use it within the casinos. Well, that's the same thing with the cryptocurrency. If they mined their own crypto, then not only is that piece of, or that coin a equal valuation to $1, but now people can own that coin on a decentralized exchange. As long as it's cleared with the SEC, they could own that coin on a decentralized exchange that can fluctuate in cost. So when that person goes to cash in their coin with the casino, now it's worth, not $1, but it could be worth $5. Yeah. Makes sense, right? Because now the casinos can make more money on mining crypto or mining coin. And there's a lot of opportunity out there for them, and that they're not even looking at. And I think that's something that they're missing.
That's very clear, and well, we can have now Ben Fox view. We have Ben Fox, co-founder of the Casino Esport Conference and executive producer of GameCon as well, with his brother Ari Fox. So now it will be interesting to have your personal view. Well, Ari has already walked us through one of the key issues or topics that maybe you will address at this education event at CEC next year, which is blockchain and NFTs. But maybe you can tell us about other topics. I was checking the list, and yeah.
Like most people, I mean, my brother and I, obviously, we have our own skill sets, so we speak to different things. And in my case, it's more of the construct of what we're doing. And at this point, we see ourselves sort of more in an education role, which is one of the reasons why we decided to create, the CECU or CEC University, and add that extra day onto what we already have, which is 2 days of pretty, intense conversations. We just go through it. I mean, anybody who's been there knows it's very no nonsense. So we we really get to the core and break apart all these different elements. Ari touched on, how to capitalize on cryptocurrency, and also about the metaverse, and now we're talking about other things other than esports, aren't we? Because the reality is that the casino industry, as it starts to understand this new techtainment, okay, it's going to realize that you need to make money in many, many ways, because it wasn't as simple the very first time I was asked over 7 or 8 years ago, what would be the best way in which to, make money here. And what we were trying to say to them all along was, it's not just esports. You see, esports, yes, competition, yes, but you have so many other ways to make money with this new techtainment. And an example would be the metaverse. Let's take that for a second. In the metaverse, I've been told time and time again that casinos are in the real estate business. Okay, so touching on that, there's no better real estate than sort of cyber real estate, because when you're dealing with cyber real estate, you have a sort of a recreation of what you have in brick and mortar, and you're able to also sell real estate within your own property, even though it's cyber. So, these are some of the things that we're going to be teaching them, at the CECU. And it's not just about teaching, it's about them being able to graduate and use these tools. And the people that we are bringing to the classrooms are people in the industry, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, these people who are already in the business of providing platforms for all this kind of stuff and a way for them to make money. And what Ari said was very true. They haven't even scratched the surface. And the way I look at it is they're not really sort of answering the need of 3 generations, because the average gamer now is 40. So, you got 3 generations of people who are old enough, or sort of 2.5 are old enough to actually go buy a hotel room, take an air flight, rent a car, all these things that are needed to get to the brick and mortar locations. But even before they do that, the power of the internet platform that they're not utilizing, they scratched on it with iGaming. I mean, iGaming is okay. You take the slots, you put them in the people's homes. You take the poker game, you put it in the people's homes. They don't have to leave. They're still connected to the casino in one way, shape, or form. But what we really want to do is expand on that, because the new generation, they don't live in one location. Everything is cyber related. So, they're even on their phones, everything that they do. So why isn't the casino getting these people? Why aren't they capturing them? These people want entertainment. They spend hours a day watching TikTok videos that have absolutely no payoff or no reward for them whatsoever. So, but that's their form of entertainment. So what are we missing? We're missing this whole casino industry utilizing the tools that are currently available to them, including esports. Talk esports for a second. There are ways to make money right now in esports. Use the poker model. There are many, many, different ways for them to get that till the pro players emerge and people start betting on them and things like that. And I mean, that's going to be part of the process. But they do have that in Europe. Ari said a lot of their fears as far as like people cheating on this. It's way more regulated and controlled than anything you can do in a casino with human error. So here we are with all this information, and we need people to ask us questions one-on-one so that they can get the answers and cover all these fears and worries they have about being able to get into this business. So we feel that by putting them in classroom environments, and it's going to allow more of that. They're going to be able to take notes and ask the questions and get the answers to the things that they couldn't really do in a lecture. They can get answers, but it's primarily about listening mostly. Yeah. And then, asking a few questions that happen to come up, but really not getting to the point where, okay, I left this classroom. Now I know what to do. Now I know who to call. Now I know where to start. Okay, so that's a different approach, but and no one really does it. I mean, let's talk about ICE G2E, those guys. I mean, more power to them, but we see them as an overall. They encapsulate a lot of everything, down to casino chips and what cocktail waitresses are wearing. I mean, we're not approaching it at that point. We're taking this piece of business, and it is a piece of business. And when I say that, I mean there is money to be made. They just need to have a little bit of guidance and hand-holding to get to that point. So that's what we're providing at the CECU. We're providing that extra, let's roll up our sleeves. 7 years already we've been at this, okay? And so here we are. We're going to go into our 8th year. It's time, guys. So let's really help you, and that's what this is all about.
And you mentioned some of the fears and worries about these new technologies, because of everything that we can fully understand. Obviously, brings about some worries, and one of them, well, we have shown it. We've covered in the U.S. 5 states issued emergency orders against the Flamingo Metaverse casino that was allegedly claiming false partnerships with Caesars Flamingo in Las Vegas, for instance, and so there was a fraud allegation there. So do you think what is this? What do you take for
first of all,
this case?
Well, obviously the rogue businesses, or the ones that have decided to set them up and use somebody else's name, obviously realize that they can make money at this. So that's one of the reasons why. So if anything, the casino should turn around and go, oh, okay, well, they already were just using our name to try to make money. There must be some reality to this, and obviously there was enough emphasis on trying to shut them down because enough customers were already trying to chase this business. So that's what, it just proves everything that we've been talking about. The fact is that, the business, let's say the criminal element knows, that the business is there. I mean, you don't get 100 nuisance robocalls a day because they're not making money on it somewhere. Somebody somewhere is making money on that. Okay, so here, casino world, the criminal element has already figured out how to make money using your name. Don't you think you should do it yourself?
That's
so
a
okay,
good way of putting it.
Right. So if anything, it should sort of make them pay attention to the fact that they need to do it, and that it won't cost that much for them to do it. Actually, my brother and I are trying to facilitate a little bit more when it comes to the metaverse in helping them source what they need and how to do it. But yes, they need, it's a wake-up call for them to realize that why allow that when, I mean, this happened before. This is the whole sort of origin of the casino industry as itself, isn't it? I mean, and everything about sports betting, isn't it? I mean, basically what they've done is they've taken out the criminal element and they've created a business out of it that's fair, or more fair, or should be fair to the person who's playing than when sports betting was run by the mafia or your bookies or something like that. Now the casinos are running them. Okay, so but what did it take? It took like what, 40 years for them to finally get sports betting. Okay, so I'm not expecting a windfall here, but what I can say is that obviously look at all those signs, look at those things, and realize that there are ways to make money on it. You're just, when you look at it at first and you see just this esports and it resembles sports and sports betting, it's not the only element here. Yes, it will provide cash, but what my brother and I are saying is there are many tools in this toolbox that you're not even using. They exist, they're there, even at a simple form. So come to the CECU and go through all these different techniques of ways to make money that are being lost on you right now, because you're not utilizing what's out there just because you don't understand it. But there are people that do, and that's who's coming to the CEC, the people who already know how to do this stuff. And they're trying to meet those people who are saying, well, how do we make money on this? So I'm glad you brought that up, because that actually is it should be a wake-up call for the industry.
Yeah, and well, you've already brought us with a hint of what the profile of the speakers will be. Maybe you can elaborate on who can we expect to see speaking there. I checked the list and I saw innovation, the Blackfire Innovation Hub from the UNLV, the Stockton University. Maybe are there any further details about the speakers?
I think we'll switch over to Ari. Ari is he's lining up a lot of that stuff. I mean, although the two of us cross over a lot, I mean, like I said, he spends a little bit more time in that side. Sure. My tendency is a little bit more on the casino side, maybe too much. But so I think we can refer that one to Ari.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome back, Gary. Well, just the question again was to have maybe further details about the speakers, including, for instance, the Innovation Blackfire Hub, which was on the list from the UNLV.
Yeah, so the Innovation Blackfire is doing a lot of innovative things. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the Blackfire Institute, isn't it? They're with everything in regards to what they're doing. Looking toward the future, including robotic servers that come with your meal that you may have served to your room for that hospitality touch, to delving into a lot of other things. As an outside private company, being CECU, we have an opportunity to not only bring Blackfire in, hopefully, because we did have them in this year. We had Robert Rippey there, and we had some other people who are UNLV professors that talk about gambling in Native America and other things. But the point being is that what we're trying to do is not only bring Blackfire in with their curriculum and their base, but also even go beyond what they're doing. So give them an opportunity to say, oh, well, we didn't touch on that. Maybe we'll go back to our students and take and start classes with that. Start classes and how integration of NFTs and crypto can integrate into the casino and hospitality market. And how we can maybe utilize that to place in our curriculum. So that helps them as well, but they also have their curriculum that is in place. And then the other opportunities is to bring in people like we had someone this past year, Michael Guy from Decentral Games. So Michael Guy is, represents Decentral Games that's related to Decentraland. Decentraland is a metaverse that you can purchase virtual real estate from, build casinos, build whatever you want to do there. And so, we'll have more people like that. We had Lydia Schur from Solid Block, which is another company that is like a real estate company that actually sells you the space in these, metaverse. So there's a lot of people that we bring that we'll have as speakers or people that want to talk. Our main goal is to also bring in people from Intel and from Google and from all of these people that are on the forefront of, technology, Microsoft, maybe even company from Ubisoft, and see if they all have evangelists that will come explain to people what they're doing, how the casino can make money utilizing those products, and how to do it. Maybe not only that, but maybe those people who go to our classes will say, we have to hire someone. I have to talk to my HR people, and we have to hire someone that knows how to develop and build, metaverse spaces. And maybe we have to go through our and build a techtainment department. That's really where, obviously the person will be much more versed, that executive or whomever that comes to CECU will be more versed on what's out there, how they can make money on it, and then go back and say, well, I need someone trained in this. Because at the moment, these executives, these HR people, executives, marketing people that are in the casino industry, they don't even know where to go, like who to talk to, to create these abilities. Perfect. Another example is, well, if you're a Native American in a casino and you want to, I've heard multiple times from Native America that they don't like the fact, some of them don't like the fact that they have to rely on casinos for their reservations, to build their ecosystems for the reservations. It's a necessary evil. They do it. It does make money and it helps their communities. But what about, building a mining space, creating server stations to build mining spaces? Well, where do they go for that? Maybe we bring, maybe we have somebody at CECU that builds mining farms that mines crypto, and they can create their own cryptocurrency. There's a lot of opportunity here. It's not just about creating the entertainment for a customer for the casino, but it's also opening up the casino industry to look and see that there's a lot of offshoots that you can do that are in the realm, that are, that they can utilize to build their infrastructure, to build for the future. And again, like I talked about cryptocurrency, I talk about NFTs. There's also ways in NFTs that NFTs took a dive. I mean, let's face it, there's no one's buying them. But they're sort of like a fun thing to have. So people have something like, a cool NFT from MGM or a cool NFT from some Native American casino that speaks to them in some way, because it's art. We're talking about art, and they could sell that. It's like memorabilia. So if I buy an NFT, it's almost like I'm buying an MGM sweatshirt, if I go into their place to buy something like that. So that makes sense to a consumer possibly, but it's just something else to have that is relatable, or that is the future of where this is all going. So many, like I've told you before, that question comes up at every conference I've been in. What does the future casino floor look like? And it's a science fiction movie is really what it looks like. And that exists today, but they have to learn about it and where to go, and get to know that side of the world, that technology side, because the casino market has been stuck and still is stuck in a very a very 21st or 20th century type of business model. I just had an argument with somebody on LinkedIn, not an argument, but I'll just point out that there was excitement that Cosmo was just bought by MGM. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cosmo just bought MGM. So somebody wrote in there, they said, well, it's great because Cosmo is going to really cater to the younger audience. That younger audience will come in and they'll spend $3,000 on a bottle of expensive champagne or liquor and have a $3,000 steak dinner. That they're willing to do this. Younger people. Well, if younger people are willing to spend that kind of money, why wouldn't they spend money on buying crypto for your company? Why wouldn't they spend money on buying an NFT? Why wouldn't they spend money to play peer-to-peer wagering on esports? Well, if they have that kind of dispensable income, and that's an admission by someone in the casino industry who just said that, then why wouldn't they spend it on something they really want to do? because they don't, not, you can't have a steak dinner every the entire day. You can't spend $3,000 on a bottle of liquor every single day, but you will throw your money at something that is really going to excite you, that's going to really entertain you, techtainment.
Yeah, I got
that will entertain you in a technological way, because young people want technology. They want to be able to be entertained that way. And if the admission of the casino industry at this moment is that younger people have that kind of expendable income, then give them something that they want, and they'll spend more. It makes sense, doesn't it? So there's a bigger picture. And then people were quoting, were coming back to me in the post that I wrote. Well, esports is, then you're talking about a poker model where people will just play one another and that the casino will get a rig. And I replied, yes, that's true. It is like a poker model, but poker's one game. There's multiple games of video gaming. There's hundreds of games of video gaming. So now it's not, you're offering one game, you're offering multiple games. So you have the ability of people not just wanting to play that one game, but people playing many games and then raking in all of that money from the different games instead of just the one poker game. Because, if you're a poker player, you're a poker player. But if you're a Smash player, you're a Smash player. If you're a Fortnite player, you're a Fortnite player. If you're a Call of Duty player, you're a Call of Duty player, or an Apex Legends player. So there's multiple communities. Poker is just one community. But now in the video gaming culture, you have multiple communities. So that's where the 3 billion, and this is where they're missing the opportunity. This is where they don't understand that there's so much money to be gained and made in techtainment and moving that narrative and opening it up. That if they just decided that if they listened to me and my brother and come to our event for the CECU, not only would they learn that there's a bigger world to make more money for their industry, but even outside the CECU, even outside the CEC, we're always here. My brother and I are always around. They can always pick up the phone and say, hey, Fox Brothers, what can I do next? And that's really where, I think there's a slew of ideas in the entertainment and the techtainment that we have in our minds. But if they just, we're doing everything we can by spoon feeding the casino industry, but and putting it all out there. But if you're not going to take the understanding and do it in a smart way, because I've seen a lot of dumb ways. I've seen a lot of dumb ways. I mean, look at, I don't know how much of an involvement MGM had, but I know that they probably rented out the space for Allied Esport Arena. And honestly, it's really not, we're not ready for land centers. I mean, if someone can have just as good a time sitting in their own house than they can at a local access network center like an Allied Esport Arena, then don't spend $30 million on an esport arena that's going to stay empty. It doesn't make any sense. So
yeah, well, all these topics I will really love to keep discussing, and of course there are other topics on the list of the announcement, that maybe culture that we have already discussed in our previous conversation. So we really
they have to learn that too. They have to learn that too. What is video gaming culture? Is it just the games and characters in the games, or is it actually a culture? Dressing up like characters in anime, because anime has a crossover into video gaming. What about Rick and Morty? That's part of their culture. Understanding the younger mind is also very important. That's also a class that will be taught at CECU.
Of course, there's a lot to learn from there. So we have to schedule a new video interview opportunity for delving further into these concepts, and I think these are very disruptive ideas that for our readers at Shogunet. So we really look forward to catching up soon, and maybe once you have more information and details about the CECU in the coming months. So thank you both, Ari and Ben, and really hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.